important task of developing democracy in our region, in our continent, in our world, Center for Multi-Party Democracy. We thank you for your continued collaboration. I see that this continues to improve every year. And the participation of the young people in particular, let us say, clap for our young people, because that is where the future is. And because they come in and they participate, but allow me to, where I come from, people say an animal smells exactly like the last bush where that animal slept. An animal will smell exactly like the last bush where that animal slept. And we're coming straight from a press conference, so we are smelling issues that may sound peculiar, but they are all interlinked. Interlinked because everything is based on the framework document called Constitution 2010. And that document says, we the people. That is exactly what it is, a clarion call that we the people. And it is in that spirit that we have come from a press conference. We are dealing with mainly economic issues. And that's why we are improperly dressed, I think. My colleagues here and I wearing tie, except Ndugu JB. The rest of us, I don't know, chose to wear ties, but that's okay. I hope we can tolerate it. Maybe we also did it for the young people, lest you think we are always on the campaign trail or we are whatever, and we therefore look, I think, a bit more presentable to you this morning. But allow me, in the spirit of the Kenyan Constitution 2010, to re-emphasize that the sovereignty of the Republic of Kenya is vested, if you like, belongs to the people of Kenya. And that is under Article 1. And the people of Kenya can choose to exercise that realization of sovereignty in one important way. They can choose, they normally would do it through their democratic representatives, i.e. their members of parliament, their MCAs, their senators, their governors, their, and so that team of Kenyans who get elected, wananchi trust them and trust them with the exercise of their sovereign power. But whereas in the present circumstances, abuse becomes the order of the day, then the Kenyan people, in exercise of their sovereignty, can exercise that right directly. And that is what they did, for example, in 2024, when the young people came out and said no to terrible legislation. And they became the champions worldwide of in government, transparency in the conduct of public affairs. I don't want to be long, because when I came in, you talk about social democracy, social justice in the marketplace, or something like that. But my view is, all this has to be premixed on the very important document called the Constitution. It is that document, and I think the proper letter that was given to us by the late President Mwai Kibaki, whom I had the honor to serve as his deputy, or as his vice president. But they changed these things after Kibaki, so Rigiji became deputy president. Tell the People's Festival the distinction between a deputy president and a vice president. Because the Constitution 2010 may not have been a perfect document, and that there are those of us who believed 80% was okay. But I think this is a time, as we look forward to 2027. By the way, I don't like to talk about 2027. I talk about the urgency of the situation, which is next year. Let us not talk about 2027. The urgency of the situation is this country will go to the polls next year. And that, what does that mean? Mr. Mugwanji, the CEO, has mentioned that when I was coming in, I saw a desk designated for registration of voters, IEBC desk. And you have just heard the paltry numbers that have been registered. And the main issue is they had hoped that the Gen Zs would come out and register as voters. We still want to urge that they do so. The only way to do with a hurting administration that uses brute force to deal with the citizens, is to take them out through the ballot. We have a situation where a sitting head of state made some historic pronouncement, like no other head of state anywhere in the world, will say those who are demonstrating should be shot on the legs. Shot on the legs. The only way to remove such a dictatorship is through the ballot. And that is what we are preparing ourselves to do. But so that I can also make a next important point, is the registrar of persons. We paid a visit to the new team at IEBC. We propose to pay another visit. Are expeditiously issued with the national identity cards and thereafter registered as voters for next year's purposes. This is so basic. This is so fundamental. And any attempt to deny young Kenyans from any part of the country from registering as becoming citizens by getting their IDs is actually acting against the constitution of this country and the future of this country. So I want to say, People's Festival, hoye! Can you give me, when I say Wiper, because that's my party, and here we also demonstrate who we are. Sisi ni Wiper tunasema, tukisema Wiper, you give me Komboa Kenya. I remember we rebranded from purely, because it's very easy to talk about democracy as a democratic movement when your rights are heavily sat upon. So we changed to patriotism, patriotic Kenyans, in order to capture the spirit of the young Kenyans who have expressed their patriotism by calling out a rogue administration. So nikisema Wiper, give me Komboa Kenya. Wiper. 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 Are you guys ready? I'm ready, and I'm sure all these colleagues are ready. If I breached your protocol, what did you expect? You call us, and we have to do that. And really enjoy, because this is a festival. So maybe next year, God willing, I'll not come dressed in a tie. You can come dressed in your traditional attire and celebrate. Some of the world's greatest festivals happen in Latin America. People dance throughout the whole week, go dancing and celebrating their culture, celebrating who we are. That if you have forgotten everything, remember, the sovereignty of the republic belongs to the people. We the people.
Thank you very much. We'd just like to take questions very quickly from the audience. We'd like to take two questions from the audience, please.
Yes.
So from this side, I'll have one question, and my colleague Charlotte Ako, the other side, who will take one question. We will note them down, atazijibu tukisonga. Sawa sawa?
So Honorable Kalonzo, those are two specific questions to you. Proceed.
Kuna swali hapa.
All right. Introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, my question to His Excellency, the Wiper leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, is after 2027, let's say your party is in the government, what will you do as a leader so as to contribute to Kenya's economy and to make Kenya's well-being better than it is currently? because we know that currently our country is facing an economic burden. So as per you, your standards, you have your manifestos. What will you do so as to make Kenya's economy be as high as it was in the time of Mwai Kibaki and in the time of, yes, in the time of Mwai Kibaki?
Thank you.
Asante sana. I want to
When
remind-
he leaves high school and
Thank
goes
you.
to college, will he have a job? Will your economy, as Excellency the President, give him a job?
Such a good
Thank you.
question. Makofi yake tena. That's
Tafadhali.
amazing.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Amazing. So, I want to remind everyone that all of us are very important for this conversation. Sindio, si politicians peke yao, si students peke yao. It's every single person who is here to make a collaborative future for whose country? Kenya. Now, we have a question here. I'm going to ask, but where are the women? Wanawake, wako wapi jamani?
Thank you so much. Vijana hoi. Vijana hoi. Vijana power. Gen Z fire. Gen Z shika. Gen Z finya. Mimi naitwa Senator Ken Babu. Mimi ni kiongozi wa vijana wa United Opposition. Na jinsi nimesikia ndugu yangu pale kwa high school ameuliza, inamaanisha kwamba hii economy inafinya hadi vijana wakiwa shule.
Usijibu swali.
Na sasa nataka niulize.
Swali.
Nataka niulize Your Excellency the Vice President. The main concern that these youth are having is not about us winning the presidency. It's about the unity between you people, the principals, to ensure that in 2027 we are making it a one term. Because for them, these young people out of our engagement, they've decided that they are going to vote one term. Harambe!
Ask your question. Thank you.
Guys, hey, najua tension iko hapa jamani. Ai, jamani.
You know,
I get that.
That
I
is,
understand that.
That is what mentorship does.
Yes.
I know the people that Ken Babis are hanging around
We've noted.
are politically lethal. So
Yes.
I can see he's developing well. Congratulations, my brother, for seizing the moment.
Frank.
All right. Do we have a question? We want to shift
Just
this.
one woman, because there's a
Please.
lot of men. And
Yes, one lady.
Yeah, just there's one lady.
And then Honorable Rigiji, prepare. DJ, ka chonjo hapo tulete Honorable Rigiji. Please, your question.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Melissa Muhonja. My question will go to His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka. Sorry. Okay, my question is, just as the young man has said, most Kenyan people, most of the population in Kenya are the youths. So you as a party leader, most young people in Kenya are unemployed. What concrete policies will you support to create sustainable jobs for the youths?
Okay. Honorable Kalonzo has a question, but we will give you time to answer. Shoot your question. No. You ball over the questions. We bring Honorable Rigiji, then we'll give you an opportunity to answer. DJ, na wapi watu ya Rigiji? Aya, simameni mahali muko tu. Simameni mahali muko DJ. DJ.
Asante sana. Vijana hoye. Vijana hoye. Thank you very much. Let me first take this opportunity to say how glad I am because of this festival, to allow our young people to dialogue and to have an opportunity to engage and make meaningful contribution for the benefit of our country. I am a great believer of our young people. I am persuaded that despite the challenges that this country has in terms of economy, in terms of governance, in terms of crime, with all those challenges, I am persuaded that as a country, we are fine because we have the greatest resource available to us, the young population. And if we give our young people the opportunity to be on the decision-making table, I'm sure this country will be on the right trajectory. I therefore want to ask our young people not to be bystanders, not to be spectators, but to pursue leadership. Our young people are very knowledgeable, they are very exposed, they have the energy, they have the zeal. But they must agree that they must be part of the solution to the challenges that we face as a country. So this afternoon, I want to make up a call to our young people. As we go towards the general elections, you are more than 70% of the Kenyan population. Democracy is about the majority. Our young people have the capacity, they have the numbers to be on the decision-making table, and they come and create the solutions that they desire for the country and themselves. And they have no choice because they are the greatest stakeholder in our country, because they have longer to live. So I want to ask our young people as we go to these elections, please get out of your homes, get out of your comfort zone, and get into the field and be part of the solution by seeking for elective positions. We want to see a situation where our county assemblies, majority, more than 70%, are people below the age of 35. We want to see young people in the National Assembly. We want to see them in the Senate. But I must tell you, nobody will come for you from home. You have to leave the house and come out here and fight for your space. And you are in a better position because you have the energy, you have the knowledge, you have the language, and your colleagues, your peers are the majority. So why not? Why not? So mine, the party that I lead, is about listening to the people. If I say DCP, say Sikisagrau. DCP? DCP? It's about listening to the people. That's why I'm very happy about this dialogue. Let the young people be heard. I had a big problem with William Ruto when I was his deputy during the Gen Z protests, when he refused to listen to the young people and decided to abduct them and kill them. And I was telling them the young people should be heard. They should be allowed to say what they need to say. So when he was saying they are criminals, I told him, no, they are not criminals. They are our sons and daughters, and we must listen to them. I must tell you, I must tell the young people, all of us in the country are looking up to you to save this country. You have the numbers, you have the zeal, you have the conviction, you are not tribal, you cannot be corrupted, you cannot be bribed. The country is looking up to you. But you are doing very well on the smartphone in terms of creating awareness on what people need to do. But the real transformation of our country will not happen on the smartphone. It will happen on the ballot box. And the tool of change is the vote. I want to appeal to our young people, as the mass voter registration starts on the 29th of this month, please acquire the tool of change, the vote, so that next year you can lead all of us, you can lead this country in creating a good government that will govern you the way you want. It is you to decide the way you want to be governed. That can only happen if you decide who will govern you. And that can only happen if you have a vote. So let me pose that challenge to you as we begin the mass voter registration. Let our young people lead from the front. I look forward to further engagement. Whenever we meet in our public rallies, we always give you a chance to speak and tell us what you think we need to do to create good change for our country. I really look forward to further engagement with our young people, and I want to thank the organizers for this great forum where young people can dialogue, they can exchange ideas, and they can be heard because they should be heard because they know a lot, and all of us will benefit from their wisdom, from their knowledge, from their exposure, and we really look forward to that engagement. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much.
Huyo ndio Rigiji. All right, thank you so much. We will be taking 2 questions for Honorable Rigiji. In the meantime, the mic is going to Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka to respond to his questions now. All right? So, again, Ton and prepare for the questions, but Honorable Kalonzo now is on the floor to respond to his questions. Over to you, Your Excellency.
The first question, I thank you because you only forgot when you praised the performance under President Kibaki that yours truly was the Vice President. So I claim a little bit. And we grew the GDP, the gross domestic product of this economy was nearly a double digit. By the time Kibaki left office, we were close to between 7 and 8% of GDP. Since that time, things have gone higher. Now it's even worse. And so our number one objective will be to transform the economy. Every Kenyan knows there's a terrible problem with the debt burden. Every Kenyan who is born today, wherever they are born with a debt burden. And that is what we must alleviate by, for example, renegotiating our debt commitments the world over. If you had a government that is listened to internationally, then you will be able to reduce the debt burden. But right now, the opposite is happening. We've just been addressing a press conference where we are saying that under the infrastructure fund bill, which we are saying, even as you in this festival should express your opinions, we have said that this is another avenue for growing the public debt. And the worst bit about it is they are doing it outside of the framework, the legal and the constitutional framework. Because all the monies that get raised through taxation and other revenues goes to the consolidated fund. Now the William Ruto administration is seeking to create another avenue which will not be subject to parliamentary approval or oversight. Now therefore creating room for greater corruption and a further erosion of the economic growth of this country. Our friend on the other side, I will not talk about Ken because he's only worried about opposition unity. And he didn't ask a question, so you ask him a question after this. But the wonderful lady is concerned about job creation. Now, if you have a government that listens to the people, a government that believes in the rule of law, and a government that has proper international recognition. You know, I personally believe with these young people should be citizens not just of Kenya, but the whole world. But first of all, we must set conditions right for you. Some of you may remember I sat in a committee called the National Dialogue Committee. And we receive evidence that over 6,000 companies registered in Kenya actually translocated to Tanzania, to Uganda, to Rwanda. The effect of that is we are losing those jobs. And yet, you have heard from my brother Rigiji that 70% of you are young people. You're going through high school. Of course, never mind the confusion with the CBC and stuff. Yeah, never mind that. But at least you go out to the job market. You need a growing economy. Therefore, this question is interrelated with the other person's question. You cannot create those job opportunities if you have a country that is dysfunctional, if you have a parliament that is captured, they will never talk for you, if you have a judiciary that cannot quickly do things, and I'm not here criticizing the judiciary because as we speak, it is the only last line of defense that we have as a country, because parliament is state captured. The leaders are all compromised. What you have is a cartel leading a whole nation called Kenya. Therefore, we will have to do something very specific, improve on manufacturing sector. Investors who come to invest here, And then, do serious business. When we have reduced cost of electricity, for example, the reduced cost of doing business, so that within, I don't know whether you know, young lady, that Kenya is a member of COMESA, which is Kenya Common Market for Southern and Eastern Africa, and amongst its members, a country called Egypt. The cost of production of goods in Egypt is a lot lower than here. So a lot of investors choose to go and set up industries. Well, they should be setting up industries here in our country. We will deliberately make it a policy to attract foreign investment, to create industries, so that our young people leaving universities and other places will find employment opportunities. But this is part of the conversation. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. 2 questions for Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, please.
Yes.
A lady, a man.
There is a lady here.
Thank you.
Angela, who has
Proceed.
a question.
And then Honorable J.B. Muturi, please prepare to make your remarks shortly. All right, proceed.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Angela Wambui, a student leader at the University of Embu and an aspiring vice president of the University of Embu. So my question to His Excellency Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua is, first of all, I'd like to say that we as youths and young people, we have felt his impact for the past years that he has been in leadership, and I'd like to say that since he came out from leadership, we also felt the impact now that he advocates for our issues as the youths. So my question is to Mheshimiwa. You have been very vocal about restoring the dignity of the payslip of Kenyan workers. Now, we as the youths, after graduating, we don't have any guaranteed job opportunities. Mheshimiwa, what do you have in store for us as the youths now that our job opportunities and our future after graduating in university is not guaranteed? What do you have in store for us, Mheshimiwa?
Turn on the other side. All right.
Yes.
Kindly, in conclusion, I was requesting if maybe Mheshimiwa could allow me to shake his hand.
Rikiji iko Kairitu hapo.
Mheshimiwa.
Proceed.
Proceed. Yes. Angela na Mheshimiwa makofi yao jamani. Amesema only opportunity comes. How many times? Exactly. Angela
Chukua
na
namba hata
Mheshimiwa.
kama ni ya kijana yake.
Asante sana. Ukipata
Asante sana. Iko K2 uko nyumbani. All right, thank you. Over to you.
Yes, comrades power. Comrades TBM. Comrades one time. Aya, sawa. Now, my name is Rono Emmanuel, to Your Excellency and to everyone who can hear me in the order of hierarchy. Your Excellency, we as the youth have been disenfranchised a couple of times, both in opposition and in the ruling government. We've been disenfranchised when it comes to politics. Tunaambiwa kila siku nyinyi ni viongozi wa kesho. Lakini sisi kama vijana, tunataka imefika wakati yetu ya kuingia katika serikali. So to Your Excellency, we as the youth, we are demanding a seat on the table. Because if we are not on the table, then we are the people that will be on the menu. Now, to Your Excellency, what structures have you put in place? Because we cannot work on empty rhetoric. Kila siku tunaambiwa vijana kiti yenyu iko. But when it comes to the real thing, we are kept missing.
Comrade,
so
your
to
question?
Your Excellency, what structures have you put in place to ensure that the youth are part of this thing? Because most of us are politically homeless right now. Hatujui mali tunaenda. And lastly, nikimalizia na ombi langu pia. Pia mimi ningependa kusalimia mkubwa. Na pia as an aspiring politician, pia ukinishikilia mkono kidogo hapa na pale nitashukuru. Asante.
All right. Yeah! Finish your Rikiji fever. DJ, tulete Honorable J.B. Muturi. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me begin by appreciating the partners, CAS, who are partnered with the CMD, and I'm sure they are partnered with several other of the political parties and other organizations, and for keeping this spirit going on. I know I've been here before in the PDF, but I think, as somebody else observed, I think it's been growing in stature, and I think it is welcome. When I arrived in, I was impressed with the discussion that was happening, and immediately it drew my attention to its appropriateness. Because the things that you are discussing here are well captured in our Constitution. In fact, when you look at the socio-economic rights, our Constitution intends that many of the things that we are discussing should be addressed. But how do we address them? When we do not, first of all, appreciate a very cardinal provision in our Constitution, which is Article 10 on national values and principles of governance. Unless we, as Kenyans, internalize those values, the values of inclusivity, social justice, intergenerational equity, human rights, and the rule of law, we are unlikely, even if we come up with whatever proposals in our manifestos, if we do not internalize those values, people will come with all manner of proposals, programs. Well, Honorable Rigiji and I were drafted into the last escapade, where we talked about something we are calling bottom up. As we all know, the so-called bottom up has collapsed. It sounded quite great. And everybody got carried away. Yes, this is something that is going to address the plight and the well-being of the majority of Kenyans. But it collapsed. Today, we've come up with all manner of grandiose ideas. They are pushed through our various institutions, most of which have been captured, with the exception of the judiciary. And I want to agree with Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. It remains up to now our last bastion of hope. Our legislature, Honorable Mwago is here. An idea such as the one I found, and I found some of the panelists discussing the issue of the National Infrastructure Fund. As everybody knows, this thing just came up the other day. How much time has gone into discussing the merits and demerits of that policy? Yet, under Article 10, we are commanded to at all times get those values when proposing policy, interpreting laws, or making laws at whatever level, in a state office, public office, and any other person, when you come up with policies. Yet, as I heard the panelists say, the thing is like, it's a fait accompli. Just last evening, the National Assembly concluded a debate on it. There was an attempt to get one of the committees, the Committee of Finance and National Planning, to do public participation. What was concluded yesterday was debate. So when are the ideas that have come from the public going to find their way into this bill? if at all. This afternoon, most likely it is going to be placed before committee of the whole House. And by the time it passes, there will be, I can assure you, there will be less than 20 members. When they resume on Tuesday, if at all, I don't know when they are going to recess, even the hundreds who are not present will be confronted with a very simple question. A simple question. We did this and this, as many of that opinion say aye. So everybody shouts aye, not even caring what it is you are shouting aye to. Yet, Article 10 dictates that there must be, and the courts have ruled, public participation must be substantive. It must have meaning. I was quite impressed with the discussions from the panelists and the questions that were coming from the floor. So, and I'm not responding to any question that has been asked, but I think some of the questions have also been quite pertinent. It does not matter what policies we come up with also. If we don't sit down, look at this grand norm which we gave ourselves. This document, what does it say? If it says that there's going to be compulsory and free basic education, should it command us or whoever it is that is in office to sit down and evaluate, call these experts? We have many experts in this country. How much would it cost if we are going to do this? Because it is there in the Constitution. Every child is entitled to, as a right to, compulsory and free. And to his credit, and we don't tire saying this, to his credit, one of the last bills that the late President Mwai Kibaki signed into law was actually the Basic Education Act, which, even on its title, is supposed to implement that provision of Article 53 on free, basic, and compulsory education. So it behoves everybody to sit and look through the document. What is it requiring? What is it commanding us to do? So that we do it for the benefit of both ourselves and the future generations of this country. I want to just give a small example. Now that I found this National Infrastructure Bond being discussed, and the moderator is here. Sometimes in the year 2021, there was a proposal to merge Kenya Airways, Kenya Airports Authority, and Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. Bring it into one body. I asked a question. I'm sure some of you may know where I was at that time. Has this thing been discussed? Who's going to? Because there are Kenyans who own shares in Kenya Airways. Kenya Airports Authority is owned by the public, so it's owned by every one of us. When you make it into one body, a limited liability company, how are the Kenyans who have grown these institutions going to benefit? Well, everybody has their own style of doing things, the moderator of that panel. But I read through the document, and I realized this thing is too dangerous for the country. And notwithstanding like we have today, because today, anything that is proposed from the executive will just pass. People will just be bulldozed and some bought, and they will pass. So if you realize you have that kind of situation, you must devise ways of ensuring that that does not happen in the interest of the public. I did what I did, and today, those three entities are still separate. But of course, you have seen the latest efforts which were there, which some of my friends here went to court to stop the Adani deal. It was still going to do the same thing. So I want to really say that I appreciate my presence here and the contributions that I've had from you. I want to assure you that we in the Democratic Party are fully committed to ensuring that what is required of us to implement fully the Constitution, and more particularly issues to do with the rule of law, human rights, and social justice, are enjoyed by every Kenyan. I don't want to say that I want to salute you by whatever salutation, but suffice to say, I believe what our party stands for is, from my heart, you give power to the people. DP, power to the people, because it belongs to you. Even the Constitution acknowledges that. Thank you very much.
All right, as the Honorable JB goes down, hand over the mic to Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. He will be responding to his questions. And then Thorn and Charlotte, where are you? Questions, are you ready? Honorable Rigathi, it's yours.
Thank you very much. Angela from Maybe University. It's true, I fight for the dignity of the payslip because the payslips for our workers have been eroded and they have no purchasing power. There is overtaxation, and what's unfortunate is that those taxes are not being used for building roads and providing water and electricity, but those funds are being diverted and used to bribe the people of Kenya. We intend, once we form government, to restore the dignity of the payslip by rationalizing taxation, taxing Kenyans in a prudent manner, and using those taxes for the purpose of which they were taxed the people of Kenya. It's true, you have talked about the job opportunities so that you can also have payslips that are dignified. We intend to work very hard on import substitution so that we are doing manufacturing here in the country to create job opportunities for our young people and for Kenyans at large. Again, the issues of agro-processing and value addition so that we create as many jobs as practically possible for our young people instead of importing goods from out of the country. Again, we intend to work very hard on financial inclusion where we provide seed capital at very reasonable interest rate for our young people to start small businesses and create employment for other young people. I want to encourage you, Angela, that you are fighting for leadership. That is the way to go. I wish you well. You have my blessings. Go for it. Na usiogope. Emmanuel, it's true. You are saying that for too long, the young people have been told they are the leaders of tomorrow. You must fight that nonsense. You are not the leaders of tomorrow. You are the leaders of today. And you must fight for your space on the decision-making table. And if you are not on the decision-making table, make sure you come down with that table. Sindio? And in our party, DCP, we have clear provisions and created organs for our young people to get them involved in leadership. We have our youth league that is very active. I think the leader of that youth wing, Wanjiku Thega, I don't know whether she's here. Wanjiku Thega is the leader of our youth wing. We also have a caucus for students to engage in leadership. And those of you who are in universities, DCP is your party of choice. We have the leader, he is called Willie. I don't know whether he's here. He's here. So please, when those of you who want to get into serious leadership, engage this young man and he can give you how to start getting involved in leadership. We want our young people to participate fully. And as I've told you, nobody will come for you from your houses. Come where the leaders are and demand your space. You know, the other day I had a meeting in Kratina, my hometown, and the young people demanded that they must speak before we speak. And that is what happened because 180% of the meeting. And that is the way to go. If there is a public rally near where you are, be there and demand your space and articulate the issues that you need to articulate. So there will be opportunities for our young people, but it's up to you to do it. And let me advise you, all the leaders you see here, many of them in this country, 80% started their leadership journey at the university. In 1986, I was the chairman of Nyeri District University Students Association in the University of Nairobi. I then became the chairman of the Literature Students Association. And here I am today. That's the way to begin. So, for you to do even practice, hizo viti kwa university kwanza mnyakue. And that's the way you start your leadership journey. You test your muscle on how to mobilize people to support you in leadership. And then your journey for leadership will begin in earnest. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Rigiji. Honorable Eugene Wamalwa be preparing to come on the stage. In the meantime, can we have questions for Honorable Muturi? But there is a protest, Honorable Rigiji. There is a young lady there that is holding us hostage, that she must ask you a question. So please direct your question, and then we pick questions for Honorable J.B. Muturi, and then Honorable Eugene Wamalwa will be coming on the stage. Yes. So shoot your shot.
Okay, the congregation at large, the invited guests, good afternoon. And I wanted to ask a specific question on the vision of 2030. As we are preparing for the 2027 elections that are approaching, yes, the power is to the people. And what are we going to do when we reach there? The vision 2030, as we have heard, we have a vision 2030 for Kenya specifically. We have a debt of over 12 trillion. What are you guys doing to revolve around that, to pay all that, and to honor the power of the people at large? That's my question.
Thank you so much. Honorable
Very
quickly
to
straight to the
JB
dead
Muturi.
question.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's true we had Vision 2030 that came up with the President Mwai Kibaki and Dr. Kalonzo here. Somehow along the line, William Ruto abandoned Vision 2030 and came up with the bottom-up economic transformation, which has failed. Now he has left the bottom-up economic transformation and has gone to Singapore, which you all know is a lie. Get rid of William Ruto and get back to Vision 2030 going ahead.